Over the road, count the cost. So you're thinking about driving over the road. Well, you know what? That's fantastic. It actually can be quite lucrative. It's enjoyable, it's fulfilling, it's all those good things that we want from a career. But you know what? It's not for everybody. That's why I call this video, Over the Road, Count the Cost. In this video, I'm going to give you 7 or 8 principles, actually depending on how you count them, that you need to apply to be successful in over the road. Also, I'm going to point out several things to look for, question to ask, research to do, how to self-assess, before you quit your job and start something that's totally new to you. My name is Merle Plain. I'm an 18-plus year veteran in the trucking industry, and I've been driving for Maverick since 2013. I'm also an MDA instructor for Maverick. That's a Maverick Driving Academy. In fact, as long as I'm driving over the road, I wouldn't want to drive for anyone else. Did you know there are more than 500,000 trucking companies in these United States? And there are lots of good companies out there, but Maverick Transportation is top of the line. Never have I found a more driver-conscious, a more driver-focused company than Maverick. Yet, as a disclaimer, please note that I'm not an official Maverick spokesperson. I'm just a driver. I'm just a driver that's offering you the benefits and the value and the knowledge from my 18-plus years of hard knocks in this industry. Actually, I love what I do. I love living in my truck. I love driving over the road. I love driving into sunrises and sunsets and seeing God's beautiful creation that He has given to us all around this country. But this video is not about me, and neither is it about Maverick. It's about you, and it's about over the road, and whether or not you and OTR would make a suitable fit. It's what I call counting the cost. And we, of course, we want to be successful at whatever we do. So, you need to make sure you count the cost before you jump in. This information in this video is crucial to you. It will help you succeed in this industry. And, hey, it's offered totally free, no cost, no obligation, no follow-up, no course to sign up for. Just a few minutes of your time to help you learn to count the cost. I see too many people come to Maverick who don't have a clue what they're getting into. For whatever reason, they don't count the cost. They don't plan, they don't ask questions, they don't do research, and they certainly don't self-assess. And they get burnt out in a career. I knew one architect, he gave up a $90,000 architectural career. He quit his job to come in here thinking he wanted to drive a truck. People quit jobs or lose jobs and they think, well, I can always go drive a truck. The last I checked, this industry had a 145% turnover rate. Now, that's mostly drivers that are jumping from across the fence from one company to another. They think it's greener on the other side of the fence. When are we going to grow up? There's always going to be something that we don't like about our jobs. Maverick is the greener pastures, folks. So, consider there are many things that you need to know about this industry before you dive in. Don't come in here without doing research and counting the cost. Then 3 months from now, you find out that it's just not going to work for you and you have to quit and start your life all over again. Don't do that to yourself. And don't do that to your family. Do some research. Ask questions. Get all the information that you can. Check out different types of over-the-road: flatbed, temp control, heavy haul, dry freight, smoothbore tankers, regional, dedicated, local. One of them may be perfect for you when the others may not work at all. But you won't know that if you don't do any research. Check for sign-on bonuses and rider programs. You know, this industry is super hard on young families. But if your wife and your kids can go with you once in a while, it makes so much easier on your family. And don't just ask if they've got rider programs or sign-on bonuses. Get the specifics. Count the cost. Is it for you or not? Know before you jump. You also need to self-assess. What are your talents, your likes and dislikes? Do you have to ask your buddies to back your boat into the lake for you? That just might be a problem. I can show you photos of where I backed into bays with 2 fingers of clearance on either side all the way back. Now, the next 7 or 8 points, if you apply them as a driver, they will help you count the cost and they will help you be successful as an over-the-road driver. Number 1. I guess number 1 is a good place to start, isn't it? Number 1, are you a solitary person? Do you like being alone? Do you get homesick easily? Can you handle small spaces? You're going to live, work, sleep, and play in your truck. You need to be a solitary person. If you like hanging out with your friends and your family and your buddies and watching a Super Bowl and drinking beer and barbecuing Sunday afternoons, well, that's a great thing. I love it too. But make sure you specifically ask off for that time a couple of weeks in advance, or you may never get to see another Super Bowl. Number 2, what do you consider a weekend? For over-the-road truckers, that's usually from Friday evening to Sunday morning. Remember, we're looking at principles that are going to make you successful in OTR. Short weekends go hand in hand with number 3, if you want to count it number 3, what I call the early bird syndrome. You have to leave out early enough Sunday to get to your delivery, or as close as possible if they don't have overnight parking, in time to get a 10-hour break before you deliver. You're going to be taking a lot of baby wipe showers. Taking that 10-hour break at delivery before you deliver is going to give you your next 11 driving hours, and you can take those and put them to the next load, which, if your fleet manager and ALMs are doing their jobs, then that's going to make you a candidate for the longer, better paying runs. And you will have set your pattern for the week. Of course, I'm assuming that you at least know about the 11-14-70 rule. I'm not going to get into all that. That's another video altogether. Make the early bird syndrome work for you. However, if you dawdle at home, the flip side of that, and drive in just in time to make the unload appointment, then you've wasted all those hours just getting there, and now you only have a few hours for the next load. All you're ever going to get is the short junk runs, and then in 3 months you're going to be whining and crying and blaming Maverick because they won't give you any good loads and you can't make any money. But whose fault is it really? It's yours for not applying principles that'll make you or break you in this industry. Plus, you want to get there early enough to be the first in line, because loads are also assigned by who sends in empty calls first. Another principle that goes hand in hand with the early bird syndrome is number 4. How long do you want to stay out? If you've got to be at home every weekend or every other weekend, then you might not get a lot of 2,500-mile runs. You may need to be willing to stay out for a few weeks to get those. It's called over the road for a reason, folks. Also, consider that every time you come home, you're going to have a short week when you come in and a short week when you go out. That's 2 short paychecks back to back. And remember, these principles can make you or break you in this industry. There's another important habit, number 5, stay out of truck stops. Now, I have a lot of good driver friends who don't actually agree with this. They like truck stops. I don't. It's my opinion, unless you have to fuel or send or receive a fax, or you really need a shower. Baby wipe showers just don't do it anymore. You gotta have a shower. Just getting in and out of truck stop is a major time waster, and there's always this risk of an accident in all of that congestion. Remember, there are 500,000 trucking companies in these United States. There are over 15 million trucks on the road, and over 2 million of those are 18-wheelers. Truck stops get extremely congested. They all have to run electronic logs now, so the truck stops get unbelievably congested about evening time. Plus, it's too tempting to spend your money. You can spend half of your paycheck every week just eating at truck stops. It's much safer, easier, quicker, and a whole lot less expensive to stop at rest areas. This brings up another habit to get into. Number 6, have a system where you eat out of your truck as much as possible. Actually, for a few years, I've used Nutrisystem. Now, I'm not promoting it for weight loss. You can tell that by looking at me. I could lose 60 pounds and still not at all worry about being underweight. But it has proven to be reasonably priced, tasty. It's got a good variety of meals, snacks, desserts. It's really easy to store and use in your truck. But regardless of all of that, you need a system for eating out of your truck. Number 7, you need to learn TMS, truck management skills, mapping, trip planning, time management, logging, and recapping, which is keeping an 8-day summary. You have to know how to get from point A to point B in a timely fashion, and how to plan your trip, and how to get your loads picked up on time and delivered on time, and how to record everything in a legal log, and how to keep an 8-day summary. TMS, truck management skills. I haven't touched on everything, but I'll just give you one last thing to consider. Number 8, do you like to work? Do you really like to work? Do you like to really work? Without knowing better, some drivers think that driving a truck is nothing more than that. But it can be hard work, especially flatbedding and hauling glass. Sometimes it's really in bad weather too. I've thrown 120-pound tarps and chains in 13 below zero blizzard conditions above Green Bay, Wisconsin. And of course, my truck didn't drive itself into that mess. In fact, that's when I said, I'm switching to glass. But guess what? I've unloaded a load of glass outside in also 13 below zero blizzard conditions in Minnesota. Ooh-wee. I had to stop 6 times just to get in a truck and warm my hands up. Ooh. I've also thrown chains and tarps in 113-degree weather in Yuma, Arizona. I've been shut out in blizzards in Wyoming, Idaho, Ohio, Oregon, Washington State. And I've actually been caught in one sandstorm in western New Mexico. Driving over the road is not always fun, and it's definitely not always easy, and it's super hard on young families, folks. I said I was only going to mention one more thing, but something else popped into my head while I was running my mouth. You need some type of an exercise program. Sometimes I take a small weight bench and a set of adjustable weights in my truck. Other times I just do stretches and squat thrusts and push-ups and pull-ups and things like that off the side of my trailer. Point is, you need some kind of an exercise program because you're sitting in that truck for hours every day. When you look around, you're going to see a lot of blubberbutts in this industry climbing in and out of our trucks. It's not always easy and it's not always fun. But you know what? I think it's a great way to make a living. I love what I do. I love living in my truck. I love being in Lebanon, Missouri Sunday, and Charlotte, North Carolina Monday, and in Miami, Oklahoma Tuesday, and Carlsbad, New Mexico Wednesday. Then maybe flipping Arkansas Thursday, and San Antonio, Texas Friday. So if you still think you want to try over the road with Maverick, then I've provided an email and a phone number from Maverick Recruiting. Or you can email me and I'll help you up with recruiting. Plus, Maverick is usually offering some kind of a sign-on bonus. But make sure you get the specifics. And we do have our own CDL school, MDA, Maverick Driving Academy. But there again, make sure you get the specifics, count the cost. But if you do contact Maverick Recruiting, tell them Merle Plain sent you. I'm not at all too proud to accept a referral bonus. But be smart enough to count the cost before you jump in. We want smart, motivated, safe, hardworking, quality Mavericks. So make sure you count the cost.